Good morning, and welcome to another First Five. Have you ever found yourself doing something just because the people around you are doing it? Maybe this is picking a specific restaurant you're going to, or it's what you wear. Maybe you wear what you wear because of the people you come in contact with, or maybe it's making a specific stance on a certain issue because of the people you're surrounded with. Regardless, we fall into this a lot as people, just doing what other people are doing. Or we do things because we think people think it's cool, or we do what is accepted by people. Well, sometimes this leads us into the wrong decision. Sometimes this leads us to do things that are incorrect. Sometimes people would call this mob mentality, but sometimes it's much smaller than a mob, and it's more just my group of people I'm in seem to be agreeing on something. Therefore, I will agree as well, regardless of what my own thoughts are on the matter. In Matthew chapter 27, we find the place between when Jesus is captured and when he is killed. And there's a couple things that happen here that really should cause us to stop and think about what it is like when we make decisions as people. So Matthew 27, starting in verse 15, it says, "Now it was the governor's custom at the feast to release a prisoner chosen by the crowd. At the time, they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. So when the crowd had gathered, Pilate asked them, 'Which one do you want me to release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ?' For he knew it was only out of envy that they had handed Jesus over to him. When Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, his wife sent him this message: 'Don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him.' But the chief priests and elders persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus executed. 'Which of the two do you want me to release to you?' asked the governor. 'Barabbas,' they answered. 'What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called Christ?' Pilate asked, and they all answered, 'Crucify him.' 'Why? What crime has he committed?' asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, 'Crucify him!' When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. 'I am innocent of this man's blood,' he said. 'It is your responsibility.' All the people answered, 'Let his blood be on us and our children.' Then he released Barabbas to them, and he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified." What we find here is a group of people following each other. And what happens is they don't take into account really what Jesus had done, but they take into account in what everyone else is doing. The chief leaders of the law are the ones that really want to get rid of Jesus, but they convince the crowd to go along with it. And often we find ourselves being part of the crowd where we get things wrong because we just follow what we're being told. We follow those that we have been told hold the right answers, even if they don't have the right answers, even if deep down they do the wrong thing. Pilate has this own struggle when his wife is like, "Hey, don't do this. I've had a dream and this guy doesn't deserve what we're about to do to him," but he can't stop the crowd. And what happens is Jesus ends up being crucified, and afterwards in verse 54, it says, "When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, 'Surely he was the Son of God.'" The centurion, who definitely would have been one who was mocking Jesus, who was looking at Jesus and thinking, "Man, this guy is crazy," because the world was telling him that Jesus was crazy. But after Jesus had died and all of the craziness had gone, his eyes were opened and he was like, "No, he really must be the Son of God." But it was too late to change the way that he had treated Jesus. So we need to be careful as we go throughout our lives. Are you following what the crowd of people, maybe the crowd of your political party, maybe the crowd of your demographic, maybe the crowd of people your age, maybe the crowd of social media influencers or sports people or other celebrities? Are you following a crowd, or are you following Jesus? Because I don't want to be like the centurion who followed the crowd and then later realized he was so wrong. I'd rather just take a good look at the decisions I'm making today and follow Jesus with my everything and follow him with my decisions so that I can make the right choices and follow the right things, even when it goes against the crowd. May we be bold enough as Christians to go against the crowd in love, as Jesus did, and follow Jesus to the right choices, rather than following the crowd, which may lead us down the wrong path. Have a great day.